with functional medicine, we have access to more detailed, thorough testing. I was mentioning the gut assessment. I use a comprehensive stool test, which looks at how you're breaking down your foods, the gut microbiome, balance or imbalance, if you have certain infections, if you have a lot of inflammation, if you have a leaky gut. So by just doing this test, we have a bunch of information that's very actionable. And based on it, I make recommendations to my patients to, treat the condition they have. I've had patients who didn't want to be tested, so we took more of a broad approach, and that can work, but again, it can take longer, and it's not as specific. In today's busy society, people want to get better yesterday. So in order to do that, I think testing is very important to give us the data.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You can get information about inflammation from a stool test. Is that what
Yes.
you said? Okay. So that's my next, like you said, inflammation starts in the gut. Did I write that down correctly?
It can start in the gut, yes.
Yeah.
So there is a number of imbalances that can create inflammation in the gut and then throughout the body. And you know, we can detect that with the stool test. We can detect that with blood work, and take the corrective steps to manage that. And a lot of people have joint pains, for example, or achiness in the muscles and in the body. And then for that, I sometimes do a food sensitivity testing, which reveals a number of foods that people are sensitive to, and oftentimes starts with disrupted gut.
Yeah. And I mean, so for like one of my goals, one of my resiliency goals is optimizing protein synthesis, because I love working out, and I believe like not that I just love working out, like I think bone health, brain health, and muscular health, oh gosh, I could go down the whole list, all have a very strong and intimate relationship with building muscle, and so if we talk about the building muscle process, and the gut, like what would you look for? Not maybe what would you look for? Yeah, where would you go with that as far as like testing or the looking at the stool results?
So there is a marker for the leaky gut that I look at with this stool test. And, if the gut lining is disrupted, that tells me that people don't absorb the nutrients very well, or certain proteins that should not be, absorbed, like bigger molecules, pass through and they create a reaction to the body. So, that is one of the tests. So the integrity of the gut lining is important for absorption of the different nutrients, including proteins. And, there is the gut microbiome. If that is disturbed or disrupted, there are certain vitamins that take place in a healthy microbiome. So I oftentimes see deficiencies of B and K vitamins if the microbiome is imbalanced. And, the metabolism is like a perfect orchestra there. And if you have certain missing pieces, it's kind of the building blocks that are missing from the production of your hormones, from the building of the muscles. And so, interestingly enough, there's a protein, an amino acid, actually glutamine, that I use quite a bit to repair the gut lining. And that is also used for, building muscle endurance. And so this is an important amino acid to help heal a leaky gut.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like muscle building and gut lining go hand in hand.
Yes. You eat too much sugar, and that's just adding to the insult. So it's an ongoing process, like a vicious cycle that we have to stop.
Geez. Yeah. So in my practice, I call that the allostatic load,
Yes.
because people come to me for chronic injuries, and usually they're pretty active. So on the surface level, they look healthy. They quote unquote look healthy. They are moving. They are moving every day, but there's something that there's a load that they're carrying around that is holding them back. And I didn't make that term up, right? That the allostatic load is a way to describe how, I would say, how flexible your system is at getting to homeostasis, like getting to your most efficient way. So in exercise, an exercise is an excursion away from homeostasis, right? Like exercise is a purposeful activity to go away from homeostasis, your baseline, and challenge your muscle, challenge your nervous system and your immune system and all the systems to retreat back to homeostasis. And so if there's a high load, an allostatic load, and I'm not explaining this to you, I think you understand this, but for the listeners, just an insight to my practice. When you go into that excursion and you can't return and your body doesn't recover, that is a problem. And that's the context that I talk to people about it. But this goes into basically the day-to-day stress of our modern society that our body hasn't completely evolved to, or has poorly adapted to. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. So in today's society where everybody is stressed, what I find that people's hormones are out of balance, and they're thinking about the cortisol. People are a lot in fight or flight response, and during that state, the body cannot really repair. So then when you start adding exercise to a very stressed body, that sometimes can make you even more stressed. And so you're getting into vicious cycles of, oh, I'm exercising, I'm doing the best I can, I'm eating a decent diet, but still I cannot lose weight, and I'm more and more stressed. So, this is what you're saying, that allostatic load, the total body load of, toxins, inflammation, that, you're thinking you're doing a great job with, exercising and eating decent. However, the body's, it has a load of either toxins or stressors or this leaky gut picture that we're talking about. And instead of easily recovering back to baseline, it stays in a chronic state of fight or flight. So that is another type of intervention that people can take, and working on stress and things like meditation, or slowing down actually on their exercise, doing more yoga versus high intensity exercises, just to get their body to unwind a little bit, will allow them then to restart their exercise routines and to be able to lose weight. But we really have to balance the nervous system during those situations.
Yeah, I mean, I've moved into suggesting people just get out and work out in the outdoors, in nature.